AD 216. In re, the investigation and hearing regarding compliance with pipeline safety regulations. We're here on a show cause about why Piney Woods has not to date, that the commission is aware, complied with the directives of the Pipeline Safety Division. If we can first have the parties identify themselves for the record, and then we'll swear in the witnesses. So, Ricky, why don't you start?
Ricky Cotton, Director of Pipeline Safety, Mississippi Public Service Commission.
Joyce Field, Mississippi Public Service Commission, Pipeline Safety Investigator.
Fidelis Malinbecker, Chief Operating Officer of the Piney School.
Bill Cyrus, Guest Operating for Piney School. Clifford Otis, Physical Planner of Piney School.
And Mr. Crosley, are you here to observe?
I came to observe.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Who among y'all plan on testifying?
I
Okay. If you'll approach, and Ricky and Joyce, if y'all come forward and be sworn. And Mr. Cotton, I think we're going to start with you. Just for background and getting us to what has transpired and where we are today, if you would take the stand and go through the procedural history of how this got started and the correspondence between the Pipeline Safety Division of the Public Service Commission and the Piney Woods School, please.
Good morning again. Okay, we're going to go back to March of 2018. Inspection dates. What I'll do is go over inspection dates and letters that went out to Piney Woods, as well as the type inspections and the regulation that we addressed. March 2018 was an inspection, was a standard inspection. We sent a letter out March 20th, no correction. We did a follow-up inspection to that on June the 8th and sent a letter out June 14th, no response. June 18th, there was a response agreeing to do the surveys that we addressed, but the surveys was not conducted in 2018. July 2018, there was another follow-up inspection and a letter sent out on July 30th. No response. July 27th, there was a distribution integrity management inspection conducted, and no response to that one as well. June the 5th, 2019, there was a follow-up inspection, letter sent out June 19th. No response on that one. June the 9th, there was a 5-day letter. June 9th, 2019, there was a 5-day letter sent out giving Piney Woods School 5 days to respond, tell us where they are with those non-compliances, and there was no response on that one. August 21st, 2019 was a meeting that Joyce Bill and I went to Piney Woods and had a meeting on August 21st, 2019, sent a follow-up letter to that meeting on August 27th, 2019, and they did respond to the letter, saying that they was going to address the non-compliances. On December 9th, 2019, Piney Woods responded to my letter that was dated August 21st, with sending some documents in and showing that they did address some of the non-compliances. January 3rd, 2020, one of the non-compliances, which is Distribution Integrity Management Plan, was reviewed and approved. That's referenced in the letter 192-1015. We gave credit for that on January 3rd, 2020. On December 20, 2019, leak survey was conducted of the 1.5 miles that was not previously surveyed, 1.5 miles of line in the wooded area. On December 20, 2019, we gave credit for that. Now the question come in on those leak surveys, have the leaks that was found been surveyed, been repaired? And if they have not been repaired, how long have they existed?
Mr. Cotton, in the Commission's December 11, 2019 order, 3 areas of deficiency were noted. The first one is, it appears Piney Woods School has partially completed the leak survey. The line in the wooded area was not surveyed. Does that remain incomplete?
I received documentation that 1.5 miles was surveyed December 20th, 2019.
All right, so that is complete.
That's complete.
And you also identified the third item in this order was the integrity management plan, and that has been completed to the Commission's satisfaction?
Yes, it has been reviewed on January 3rd, 2020 to the Commission's satisfactory.
That leaves item number 2 in the Commission's December 11th, 2019 order. The cathodic protection survey appears incomplete with no pipe to soil potential readings on the document. Where do we stand on that?
I have not received any documentation showing the pipe to soil potential readings of those surveys. It shows that the survey was done September 4th, 2019. There is no pipe to soil potential readings to show whether or not the survey was sufficient. I requested that information, still have not received it.
Okay, so other than that item, the pipe to soil readings being absent from that survey report, are there any other outstanding items for Piney Woods School as it relates to this matter?
The leak survey that was conducted, I want to make sure, and I have to ask Tim, have those leaks been repaired? The last leak survey showed 5 grade B leaks and 1 grade C leak. Leaks are graded A, B, and C, A being the worst. And it's showing 5 grade B leaks, 1 grade C leak, and I want to make sure that those leaks have been addressed.
And those leaks, that leak report, I believe, is identified in Exhibit 1 to the December 19th order. Make sure. Am I identifying that exhibit correctly? Because every page of that exhibit seems to have its own exhibit sticker.
It should be titled Leak Survey Summary. And the leak survey would be dated September 4th, 2019.
Okay, so that is attached for the record to the show cause order that the court entered, or the commission entered on December 11th, 2019. So, as I appreciate it, there are 2 matters that we need to discuss and need to hear from Piney Woods on. The pipe to soil report and the actions taken to repair the leaks.
That's correct.
Okay, anything else?
That's it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cotton. Piney Woods. And if you'll just identify yourself again for the record.
Yeah, Fidelis Malembeka.
You heard Mr. Cotton's testimony that there are two outstanding issues with regard to Piney Woods pipelines and gas system. The first one is the absence of the pipe-to-soil measurements contained or that should have been part of the September 4, 2019 survey. Where does Piney Woods stand on that matter?
So we had actually engaged a consultant to do that survey. And this is E. Daniels, LLC. And so the correspondence we have received from that consultant is that the readings were completely offline. That's the main reason they were not included. And he did mention he made notation of that, that those numbers were out of compliance. And so he has made a proposal to actually do a survey, the soil to pipe test, and propose implementing an anode bed. And so he believes that work can be completed by March 20th in terms of carrying out the soil resistivity test is what he needs to complete before proceeding with the anode bed.
So E. Daniels is still the consultant you're dealing with at this point,
That is correct.
and they've identified March 20th of 2020 as the date that they could have that work completed, or part of it.
The soil resistivity test, yes.
And to fully complete everything, have they identified a time?
So they've not provided a time frame. They mentioned they need to complete this work before they can provide a proposal of moving forward from there.
Do you have a representative from E. Daniels with you today?
So Joy Samro actually had initially intended on attending the meeting, but he had something come up, so he was unable to make it.
Interesting. All right, the second one that we discussed is the leak survey. A number of leaks were identified in the E. Daniels report. Mr. Cotton just referenced them. Where does Piney Woods stand on those leaks?
Those leaks have been completed. The repairs have been completed.
What documentation do we have that we can put in the record here today that shows that they've been corrected?
Yeah, and I thought that information had been sent to Mr. Cotton, and I'll double check with our gas operator here. But there is documentation showing the work has been completed, and if we need to do a final report on it, we'll be glad to do so.
Well, there does need to be a final report on it because as it stands right now, we've identified 5 leaks that we don't have anything to show have been remedied. The commission needs documentation that those leaks have been remedied. When was that work completed?
So the first part of the repairs was carried out in November, and I have to look through through some notes here to get the specific dates.
Are you aware of the nature of the repairs that were completed? What did they do to repair the leaks?
Yeah, I believe it was in the actual report. Our gas operator is here. He actually supervised that work.
Okay,
Um,
well, we'll hear from him in a second. Um,
Okay, so there was a report. I think this was sent over to Mr. Cotton, and was, I think, part of the attachment of the documents, the document response that was sent to the Pineywood School. And this one is titled the Pineywood School Natural Gas Repairs.
And on what date was that sent to Mr. Cotton? And was it emailed or mailed or filed in the, it wasn't filed in the docket.
It was emailed. It was emailed to him. And I thought it was part of the attachment of the documents that were filed with the docket. Let's see here.
Do you have a copy of that email with you?
I do. I can pull it. It's on my phone.
Do you have it, Mr. Cotton?
Okay, so in fact, I think it was marked as Exhibit 1. Um, this was a letter sent from our communications officer on December 6th.
And what's your communications officer's name?
LaMonica Scott.
And that letter was sent via email,
By email, correct.
but not filed in this docket.
So I'm actually looking at the documents we received from the commission. And the letter is marked as Exhibit 1.
Okay. Okay, let's hear from the gas operator. Yes. Thank you. If you'll please identify yourself for the court reporter, please, in the record.
My name is Roosevelt Size. I'm the gas operator for Piney School.
Okay. The commission is concerned about some non-compliance issues that Pineywood School had. Let's start with the leaks. We have 5: the Sullivan House, the dining hall, the old band hall, and Lloyd Hall, and DIMP.
Hooker College.
Okay. Have all of those leaks been
Yes, sir.
repaired?
All of them been completed.
When were they completed?
We started on it in December, and when we started on in December, we finished 3 of them around December the 10th, and then the last one was completed last week. I'm sorry, a week and a half ago. That was little after Christmas. Yes, sir.
Okay. And are you the one who is primarily in contact with the E. Daniels LLC group with regard to the pipe to soil issue?
Yeah.
And what is causing the delay for them to be
Yeah.
able to do that work?
What he explained to me was the pipe to soil thing, there was no orthotic protection on the pipe, and he couldn't get a reading on it. And that's what he said to me over there. And the process that he is proposing to get orthotic protection to the pipe.
And the work should be completed by March, or he can't begin the work until March?
Well, we got a proposal to get that done and get the orthotic protection back on.
Is that proposal under consideration between Piney Woods and the consultant at this point?
Yes, sir.
And what's the delay in finalizing that proposal?
Well, the final item in that proposal is to put annual bids in and to rectify over the, because what didn't happen is the rectifier couldn't read because of the annual bid was out.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Cotton, if I can hear from you one more time. So we're down to the pipe to soil matter and the cathodic protection issue. You've heard the dates that they've mentioned. What does the Pipeline Safety Division view as a reasonable time frame to conduct that work?
The pipe to soil potential readings, if they're going to start it in March, it's only a few days worth of work. I think the estimate that they have is about $2,100, and it's not a long process. So if they started in March, they should be able to finish in March. So I would say March 31st, end of March, however many days in March. We want to see it completed by the end of March.
Is there anything else that the Pipeline Safety Division needs to add?
I want to summarize a little bit, get clear on the leak repairs, and then I want to summarize a little bit on the importance of the pipe and soil potential readings. I don't know if I can address the questions to them directly, or how do I do that?
If you've got, the commission is going to direct that they file detailed repair plans on what was done to the leaks.
Because I'm showing 7 leaks in this document of September 2019, and I'm only showing that they repaired 4, three of them as of the date I got this, but maybe 4 by now. So all of them may not have been repaired yet.
Okay, stand by it. To Piney Woods, whomever can answer, just tell the court reporter who you are. Are there any leaks that have been identified by the Pipeline Safety Division that have not been repaired?
So all the information that we have thus far is that all the repairs have been completed. And the consultant, I believe, has forwarded a copy of that report to Mr. Cotton's office.
Okay.
And
Thank
that's the information I'm looking at, is the report that was sent to the office.
Okay, Mr. Cotton, what I appreciate is that the Sullivan House leak was repaired. Does that line up with the Pipeline Safety Division?
Yes,
The band hall was repaired. Does that line up with the Pipeline Safety Division?
yes,
Lloyd Hall,
yes.
the dining hall.
I have not seen documentation of that. They have some dates in there that it was going to be done December 23rd, 24th, but I have not seen the documentation that that's been repaired.
Okay. The DIMP.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so those are the 5 that we had previously addressed. Is your testimony that there are an additional 2 leaks?
I'm showing there was, on the leak survey of September 2019, there was a leak found at Shed Cottage, a B leak, grade B leak at Shed Cottage. I have no documentation of addressing that leak. Also at the first house, it's titled First House. They wouldn't understand what that means, I think. Also a B leak. And then at the honors dormitory. And that leak is not graded, but it's showing that it may be a leak there as well.
All right.
So we would need additional documentation to say that those have been addressed or will be.
Okay.
All right, on the cathodic protection surveys, the cathodic protection survey that was conducted in 2017 showed low pipe to soil potential readings. In 2018, there was no survey done at all. 2019, it shows low pipe to soil potential readings. Some of those low pipe to soil potential readings would be in the same location as previous years. The importance of a cathodic protection survey is to show you what your steel pipeline is doing under the ground, whether or not it's corroding or not. Okay? Cathodic protection, pipe to soil potential reading, is designed to protect the pipeline, your steel pipeline, from corroding underground. How do we know whether it's effective or not is to have adequate readings. We do not have adequate readings, did not show any readings in 2019 survey. And as a result of that, you look at your leak survey, you had 3 leaks in 2017, and you had 6 in 2019, which the Qatar protection tell the story of. Your pipeline is not being protected, so therefore you're getting corrosion on the pipeline under the ground, and the result is leaks or more leaks. So chances are some of these leaks may be corrosion leaks because the Qatar protection is not adequate. So I urge Pineywood School to install these anode beds to get the Qatar protection up on the system so that the steel pipelines under the ground could be protected.
Okay. Is there anything else that you need to add?
That's it.
Okay. Anything else from Piney Woods? If you wish.
Fidelis Malenbecker for the record. Just want to ensure that we provide some clarity to a question that was asked regarding the acceptance of the proposal from E. Daniels. Yes, this has been accepted, and so that's why he prepared the document indicating that the work would be done by March 1st. The soil resistivity test.
Okay. I think the commission has heard what it needs to hear. An order will issue following this hearing directing that the cathodic protection work be finished by March 31st of 2020, failing which fines will issue from the commission. The commission will also direct that documentations addressing each of the leaks that were discussed here and what has been done to fix them, if anything, be filed by the end of the week. That includes the dining hall, shed cottage, first house, and the honors dormitory. Failing any of that, fines will issue from the commission. Any other business? Then that concludes this hearing. Thank you.